This is Wilson Miles from Black Women TV. We're talking to Mona Scott Young, executive producer of the film series Love and Murder, Atlanta, Playboy, which we play on BET Plus. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Now, you're no stranger to producing many products. What came into working on this particular film series?
We've been moving into scripted and exploring other projects, and I actually have another project that I partnered with BET on. They wanted to do something that was in the passion crime space. This was a story that they were interested in developing, and so, we partnered with Swirl and put it together. It was a few years in the making, but we're glad that it's finally hitting the screens for the audience.
Okay. Now, you worked on a bunch of projects, reality shows, and you've done a couple of films, and this is based on the book, if I'm correct, right?
Correct, yes.
So what went into tackling this book and saying, okay, we can work on this one, and the time period is right for this to come out now?
Well, it was mainly the fact that, I don't know if you guys can see me. I kind of blanked out for a minute. Do you see me here?
I can see you. I can see you.
All right, then I'm going blind because I don't understand what happened here. But it was, like I said, the interest in doing passion thrillers. And this story in particular was such a sensationalized and salacious one. Right here, you had this Black tech entrepreneur in the very early days of tech. And he was a bit of a celebrity himself in, Atlanta at the time. And to have been so brutally murdered and for it to have been such a public case, it was just one of those stories that, needed to be told. And there were so many great elements that made for, wonderful storytelling.
What kind of liberties did you take between fact and fiction? So I know you got to sell it on TV or as a film, so are we getting what actually happened, or you're taking liberties?
Well, there were some creative liberties with certain names and certain situations that, of course, needed to be condensed to fit into, the storytelling, the production. But the elements of how it happened, who actually, committed the crime, the women that were in his life, his relationship with his mother, the businesses that he actually, pioneered, and some of the enemies that he made along the way. Those were all true to his life. So the stuff that, we kind of adjusted for television were inconsequential names and collapsing elements of the story.
Taye Diggs is someone we've seen for a number of years. He's someone that can definitely sell. What went into choosing him to play Lance?
I mean, Tay was amazing, right? It was an incredible opportunity to have somebody with his caliber of acting. He, of course, with his own persona, could very easily embrace a role of a, philanderer and a ladies' man, and an incredible entrepreneur. The fact that we were able to even get his interest and engagement was a major coup for the project. And Keesha Sharp, she was another, incredible get, and their dynamic and their chemistry together, I think went such a long way to making this story work.
You got a host of actresses who are familiar to audiences from different projects that they've done. Was it an easy pickings as far as you being a producer, like, oh, I want this person, I want that person, or did everybody have to audition for roles?
It's interesting because, again, you're not going to have somebody like a Taye Diggs audition. Keesha, of course not. And for the most part, we did have some of our secondary actors, send in tape for roles, but it was a really robust group that we had to choose from. And so we took into consideration things like, likeness and, of course, ability to deliver the character and the role. And also, some things were like the accent, making sure that that was authentic. So we had a great roster of talent to work with on this project.
Now, when you're setting a time period, and you were talking 2006, obviously before social media and all of that expanded, you have to do research into that time period, the clothes, the talking, all of the, how much research went into making sure everything was right so that no one calls you out and says, wait a minute, that product wasn't made till like 2020. They're talking 2006 here.
Right. I mean, that was, of course, always a consideration, making sure that we stay true to the time period in terms of the music, the clothing, the dialogue. And I think we did a pretty good job of nailing it. I was saying the other day that watching the movie even felt like watching the content that was on television back then, just in terms of the look and feel of the movie itself. Definitely, we did our best to stay true to the time period. There are probably still going to be things that we get called out on, but overall, I felt really good about the final product.
Mm-hmm. And then, it's a two-nighter. Why not just one particular film? Why break it down into two? Or why not make it into a series?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because the goal of having The Love and Murder as the umbrella title is this idea that potentially there are tons of other stories that we'd like to tell. So this is, Love and Murder, Atlanta Playboy, and potentially we'll have an opportunity to tell other stories. There was so much to Lance's life, both on a personal trajectory and, of course, all of the things that he was trying to accomplish as an entrepreneur, that in order to fully tell his story, we did break it up into the two parts. But what we're hoping is to be able to tell some of the other stories that, occurred over the course of time under this Love and Murder banner.
I always say, there's a lot of products now on streaming channels, on theaters. What's going to get an audience to watch this? Because, whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, unless somebody's telling you about it, people are no longer channel surfing to see what's out there. So what's the big marketing on to get people to watch this when it comes out for two nights?
One, I hope, the title is an attention grabber, Love and Murder. Like I said, we all know that passion thrillers are a very popular genre. Two, Taye Diggs, he is, a very, very well-respected, well-loved actor. And I think we usually, love to see what he's doing. And so hopefully that's another driver for us. BET Plus has a tremendous audience, and subscribership. And of course, the movie itself is really good. This first part airs on tonight, as a matter of fact. First part airs tonight, next part airs next week, and we're hoping the word of mouth helps us spread the word as well. But I think people will enjoy the movie. It's fun. It's although it's, at its core, a passion thriller, there's a murder at the center of this. It is funny. I think the cast does a tremendous job of delivering on, Lance's life, which is a roller coaster ride of relationships. And I think the, audiences will definitely enjoy watching this and hopefully spread the word.
Now, as a producer, any talent can never stop learning. What did you learn after finish shooting this that helps you, your skill set as a producer, as you move forward to other projects? Is there anything you picked up from doing this, or like, okay, I'll do this the next time, or so forth?
Definitely. This was a very different project in terms of adapting from a book and also trying to stay true to certain elements of a life story, because I'm one of those people that if I'm watching something, I immediately go and start Google searching, right, to verify the elements that I'm watching on the screen. So, finding how to strike that balance so that you're able to contain all of the elements and make a compelling story while not veering too far away from the actual facts, because that the fans are going to look. So that was something that was a first-time experience that I certainly learned along the way. And also, as you mentioned, it being a period piece, right? And wanting to make sure that you maintain that authenticity. This was the first project that I did on the scripted side that had multiple parts. So, understanding kind of where that story break is and how to keep the audience engaged through to the end of the first story and into the next. There were a lot of learning curves for me on this project, but I'm definitely, excited for audiences to see the end result. And I'm excited to take all of those learnings into the next project.
You have anything else coming up, or are you just taking it one by one?
Well, actually, I actually have another project that was done independently. It is a holiday project that stars Vivica Fox and Jussie Smollett, and we're really in the finishing final stages of that project. So that's another scripted, feature that we have in the pipeline.
Okay. Well, Love and Murder, Atlanta Playboy, airing on BET Plus. Producer Mona Scott Young, thank you for coming on. We'll get this
And
out as
Swirl
multiple.
Films, my good partners at Swirl, want to say that.
Okay, yes, I know Eric. So definitely wherever you're at, take care, stay safe, and we'll talk down the road.
Thank you.